Alright, hopefully we are live. I think we should be good. Looks like everything's loading on up. So should be good. Have to let me know if you guys can hear me. Make sure sound is coming through and everything all good. I'm a little sick, so bear with me. I probably sound a little bit different. I'm still trying to recover. I'm going to try not to cough too much during the stream. I'm going to try to remember to mute when I do that. But I am a little sick, still recovering. That's why this is a live stream and not a video. I just have been not feeling too hot, so I didn't get around to making a video announcing this stuff yet, so I'm going to be doing that. I'll put up a video at some point here announcing this stuff, but the stuff that I'm announcing, if you guys are patrons, should have just went live, so you can go download them while we're waiting for everything to come up and everyone to join on in. Hopefully we have some people join in here. I'll give it a few minutes to start. Give us some time for people to get in here. Like I said, we're going to be taking a look at some of the new stuff that I've been working on. I've been working on this for quite a while now, probably a few months. Took some work to get part of it done, some research and stuff, so we'll talk about all that here in a little bit. Let's give some time for people to get in here. For those of you that are in here, how you guys doing? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Hopefully everyone's doing better than me, because like I said, I am not feeling the best. I've been kind of sick for probably about a month now, to be honest with you. About a month. Been kind of coughing. I got sick and then I was kind of coughing, and then I got over like the sickness. That didn't last very long, only a couple days. And then I was just been coughing really bad for like 3 weeks now. And then last weekend I got sick again, and it got worse, and now I start feeling a little bit better today, so hopefully we're on the upswing now. Hopefully don't have to worry about that for much longer. So I tell you what, I am tired of coughing. It's violent coughing too. All right, well, I guess we have a few people in here now. Everyone hear me okay? Hopefully, if you guys are watching, wouldn't mind, let me know if we are coming through all good, or if I'm quiet or anything. Make sure to let me know and I can turn myself up. As I said, I'm going to probably mute and unmute here as we go. Just try not to cough into the mic. But let's go ahead and start taking a look at this stuff, I guess. So, got Houdini pulled up. Like I said, this stuff is should be live on Patreon now. So if you want to head over there, if you are a patron, you can grab all the new stuff that I got and kind of follow along here. So first and foremost, there's a package that you can download. The package you can install. Let me show just kind of what you need to do for that. Pull up my packages. Where are we at? Documents. All right, so if you download the stuff, you pull up your documents, and then you go to packages. There's a couple things that are going to come with this. So I have a zip file that I've attached to the Patreon, and you can post on Patreon. You can download it there, and it's going to have this JSON file, and it's going to have this folder in here, which has a toolbar section with also a config file that has some icons and stuff. So you need to change the JSON file. Here, let me pull up what's actually in there. Give me just a moment. Where is it? There it is. All right, so the JSON file. This is what the JSON file will look like that you guys download. So there's only one line that you need to adjust, and then it is right here. So you just paste into your documents, you'll paste in the JSON file as well as the folder, that inside the Mind folder. And then you'll open up your JSON file and you'll edit this line right here. So you'll just want to change this part. So it'll be your username wherever you have your documents stored. So you'll change it to that file path, and then make sure that you have this back part as part of it. That way it knows to look through, or it knows where to look for everything. Otherwise your icons and stuff won't show up. So once you have that, you should have a new shelf once you load up Houdini. So if we go ahead and come over here and come to shelves, we have the Inside the Mind shelf, which has a couple of things on it. So first, there are 3 things on this for now. I'm going to add to this as time goes on, most likely. I got a couple ideas of some things that I want to add to this, whether that is something that I'm able to accomplish or not. We shall see. My limited knowledge of Python and how to get that to work is a big limiting factor. So a couple things. The first one, I'm going to come back to that one because that goes hand in hand with the second part of this little announcement. So let's go ahead and just drop down just a note here just to show the second tool here. So this was actually something that was kind of asked about in my Discord. So if you aren't part of my Discord, go ahead and join that. The link should be in the description. But with normal Houdini, you have you lay down nodes, and then you can change their colors. This little icon right here turns on and off this little color picker. So normally if you want to change the colors of these nodes with to a custom random color, whatever that's not included in here, you'd have to like right click and then edit color, and then that brings up the sliders and stuff, and that's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I created a tool that does that for you, and if you want it to be bound to the hotkey for this little color picker is C. So if I press C, I've already bound this on mine, and I don't know if this holds over. I set that in the actual node, or in the shelf tool. So if I right click and click on edit tool, and you come over to hotkeys, this is where you do that. You click edit and then you set it to whatever you want. I've already bound it to C on mine, and I think I did that for the one I sent out to everybody. So you may or may not already have that bound. So you can turn that on or off through this menu if you would like, but I just set that for my use. That way I can just open this up and just use a color picker this way. So as you can see, any node that is selected, it's going to just go ahead and change the color of. So if I want to do multiple at a time, I can select multiple at a time. If I only want to do one, you can just select one. And you can also save custom colors here, just like you would have down here. And this doesn't disable this. You can still use this if you want. So you can use them in tandem if you would like. But this just gives you a little bit nicer control over selecting your colors. Not sure why this isn't kind of the default in Houdini. Doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't make the tool. All right, so the second tool kind of goes along with this. So normally if you want to create a duplicate of a node, you can just alt click and drag, and then if you want to make a whole bunch of them, you'd have to you know, make a bunch and just kind of keep dragging them, clicking and dragging. And that's not necessarily a great idea. And actually, give me just a second, because I just realized that my hotkey for mute is the delete key, and I kind of need that. So I'm going to turn that to something else. Give me just a second here while I do that. Sorry for the short little delay. I didn't think that one through as I was doing this. I don't know, honestly, what a good key for this would be. I'm not sure, because there's so many hotkeys in Houdini. You know what? I'll set it to caps lock, because that's what I use for push to talk when I play games. And we'll go with that. Alright, so I made a tool that will duplicate nodes. So you can click on duplicate nodes, and then you just select the number of duplicates that you want. So if I wanted 5, then we could just type in 5, and then it makes 5 duplicates of the nodes. So just something to speed up your little workflow there just a little bit. Doesn't hurt too much, or doesn't take too much time, but makes your workflow a little bit faster. And give me just a moment again here as well. Sorry about this. All right, sorry about that. So the last thing, last tool that I have here goes hand in hand with another thing that I've made. So we'll kind of cover that here all in one. So this is the mesh import tool. So with this, you can import, it's basically like a library thing. So here, let me navigate to this. Give me just a moment. Forgot to put these all in a better spot on my hard drive. All right, so you'll navigate to the folder where you have all your models stored, and then once you have done that, you can press accept, and you get a list of all of the models that you have in your folder. And you can create your own thumbnails for these. You have a thumbnail size thing here. I've only got it set to be 4 rows by 4 rows, so obviously, or 4 rows by however many rows that you got, so it doesn't automatically adjust. That was a little bit beyond my capabilities. I was struggling getting that working. So this all does work within with Python. So I'm not super familiar with that. I'm not the best coder, but I know a little bit, dabble a little bit. So this, everything that you're seeing here, all of these models, these are all the other part of what I've been working on. So these were all generated using an HDA that I created. I'm not going to release that because it doesn't exactly work how it should. And I know that it doesn't work how it should. So I don't feel confident in releasing something that doesn't work the way that it should be expected to work. But this was a super shape generator. So if you know what super shapes are, there's the super formula. Basically, it works around that. And this is a whole bunch of different super shapes that you can create. And I went through and made a bunch of them. And they're basically just like little abstract assets that you can download and use for whatever you want. I've got low res and high res models for pretty much all of these, except for a couple that were just the high res models did not translate to low res models easily at all, and were gonna just cause problems. So like this one, for example, very difficult to turn this into a low res model, and I'll show you kind of why here in a second. But once we selected our folder, we can select kind of whatever we want here. So I'll go ahead and just select a few of these. So maybe we'll grab, I guess those are the low res. I'll grab the low res ones. Take a look at it. I'll grab that one as well. So we'll just select a few of these, and then If we're in the geometry context, we don't need to press anything else unless you want to import these into separate geometry nodes. I'm just going to leave this checked. If you leave this checked, it's going to import them all into one geometry node. And if you uncheck this, it's going to make them all their own geometry nodes. So once we have selected our models, it brings them all into one, and we have them all here. So this is what that one looks like. It's super complex. So quite a few polygons on this. This one is, well, these are all alembic, so you can unpack these. This one is kind of heavy, so 600,000. That's a high res one though. So some of these other ones, like this one, is a low res. These do have UVs too I just kind of used the labs tools to generate the UVs, so they're not like super perfect. These are kind of meant to be more of like triplanar textured assets. But if you want to go in and clean up the UVs and do whatever you want with them, then you can do that as well. Okay, so this one is only like 40,000 polygons, so there's some differentiating or differences in there quite heavily. So 32,000 there. I'd say the low res are around like 20 to 40,000 for most of them as far as the faces go. That's kind of what it needed to retain the shapes for all these, where the high res are anywhere from 200,000 polys to like 1 million or something like that. So if we want to import more of these, we can. Let me just select a couple other ones. This one's kind of cool. And then we can uncheck this and it will import them. It takes a little bit longer, but it imports them into their own geometry containers. So if you want that, you can do that. And then if we want these in Solaris, we can hop on over to Solaris, and our shelf is still here. So if we bring this over, we can select some of these again. So I'll just select a few, and then we'll select this import into stage context, and that's going to bring them into Solaris for us. So then we have these all brought into Solaris, which is super nice. So I know that there's a bunch of other tools out there that do this sort of library, thing. I know there's, I don't know, there's one that's super popular. I don't have it, but I didn't feel like paying a bunch of money for it. So I kind of just created my own, super simple, nothing super complex. You can generate your own models and stick them in there. This is not like you have to use my model things. You can use whatever models you want. So if you want to use kitbash models for this, you can do that as well. And then you can generate thumbnails for them as well. The thumbnails do need to be a specific type, file type. So we can, I think I put either PNG or JPEG. So just use those two. The models can be a lot of different model types. I forget which ones I added in there. Alembic, OBJ, FBX. I think I did USD as well, but USD is kind of a little bit more complex than that, so it doesn't import them kind of the USD way. It imports them as file nodes as USD, and you can do whatever you want with it from there. But it does work with USD. I can't remember if I added any more other than those. I think it was just those 4. But that should cover pretty much everything that you're going to use. So you can mess around with that. But there are quite a few models in here. Let's see. I don't know how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like 40 something models, something like that. Is that right? No, 20. There's 2. Yeah, 20 something models. Now you can see them all here. And I do have an animation or a video that I'll upload that has a little animation of them all in a couple of days or a day or two once I get it all like I said, I've been a little sick. You're going to hear me kind of mute throughout this because I am still recovering. And I'm coughing quite a bit. So I'm coughing mostly when I'm using my lungs. So as I'm talking here, it's kind of irritating it, but we will hang in there. Let's take some of these, or actually let's move on from this. And that's kind of what I've been working on for you guys. Been working on that for quite a while. Like I said, these model things, the super shape generator kind of took a decent amount of time to make. It was not the easiest thing in the world because it's all code to generate that stuff as well. And that took a lot of playing around and finagling. So hopefully you guys find this stuff all useful for what it is. I don't think it's really that expensive. Part of my Patreon, it's the same tier, the $10 tier. So with that, you get this as well as all of my project files that I upload as well. So I think that's a pretty decent deal in my opinion. And then once you have it, it's yours forever. So you won't get any updates if you cancel the Patreon, but you know, you can re-grab it in the future if you want. And like I said, it's there. It's there for you for forever. Let's go ahead and do some procedural shading, I guess. Let me just start over. Let's drop down, stop create. We're going to do this inside of Karma. So there is some new nodes in Karma, and procedural shading look like some fun. So I'm not sure how long we're going to do this. Like I said, I'm kind of out of breath just talking here, which really sucks. But it is what it is. So I'm trying not to cough too much, take too many breaks to cough. But let's go ahead and set this up. I'm just going to create a grid, and we'll kind of create this off of a grid. But we'll need a material library, and then a material linker. If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to let me know. And then let's see. The way I like to set up our, honestly, I'll probably create a shelf tool for this as well, just to create a generalized setup for Solaris. But I like to create lights. Actually, we can probably just set up a environment light for this. And then let's see, we'll go find an HDRI. This one should work. And then we need a camera. So we'll set our camera up. Yeah, shoot. Something like that. Should be fine. And then we need our Karma render settings. And we will make sure to set this to XView. And we need a material to start off with. So we'll drop down Karma material builder. And then we can assign this to our grid. Just like that. And let's see what this gets us. If this starts to like cut my audio, you guys have to let me know. If that is what happens, I will turn off one of my GPUs. I have 2 GPUs. So I will render on one of them and the one that is not being used by OBS. So let me know if for whatever reason my audio starts like cutting in and out. But I think this should be good. So I don't know. I was thinking of creating, let me just like, I don't know, pull up like a reference or something. I was thinking we would start off with like trying to generate a tile floor. Like maybe like a cool tile floor. Ooh, I kind of like this. This one's kind of cool. pull it up on my end, and then I suppose actually, do I still have a PureRef installed somewhere? Oh, I got it pinned. I am dumb. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna set this off to the side on my end so I can see it. Do it like this. Let's see, where did it go? There we go. Alright, I got it pulled up now. Oops. Bring this over here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Audio seems fine. Alright, awesome. Thank you. Hopefully as it's like renders here, where it's not really too, it's like basically just a grid in the scene, so it shouldn't give us any issues, but in the event that it does, I can always just turn off a graphics card here. And again, I apologize. We're going to have to take a couple little pauses throughout here when I start having coughing fits, so hopefully I don't have anything too bad. But like I said, I'm going to start off with trying to create like a tile, like a tile floor. So we'll use MaterialX for this stuff. So I'm looking for procedurals. So maybe this checkerboard start off with. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is that what I'm looking for though? So I want, we have another, like, I don't know. Let's see, we have this hexagon. How can we turn this into another one? Is there like an angle? No, there's not a sidedness to this. It'd be really nice if that give us like a sidedness. I don't know if we're going to be able to do what I wanted to do with the image that I pulled up because of the limited noises. Unfortunately, there is just like not a ton of noise. A ton of noises in MaterialX and what's implemented anyways. Let's take a look at what all these are though. So we can kind of get something with this. Ooh, so you could do like you could do like a brick with this. This would be kind of nice. You have to like crank this up. That's not the right one. Crank this up. Yeah, you can create like a brick texture with this. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that was in here. But that's not what I was going for. What is this crosshatch one? This is something that I wanted to play around with, was procedural shading in Karma. I just haven't done it yet, so I figured this was a good time to do so. And we'll see what we can come up with. So that's the crosshatch, huh? What else is there? I suppose we could just like lay them all out. What is this cloverleaf? that. That looks weird. I don't know. That's not really. It's not really a clover leaf. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna be able to do what I wanted to do because. Well, I suppose. Can we? Let me think about this. Like the image that I pulled up. I mean, I suppose maybe if we did. Ooh. Then we can't rotate. Can we rotate this? There's a new texture. Place 2D. That's what I was looking for. This node is nice. How does this work? Texture coordinates. Why am I drawing a blank here? V. I never really used this one until. So I didn't know it existed. Until I started messing around with the grayscale gorilla stuff. Let me just mess around and bring one of these in. Text chords, yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of in a fog right now. Text chords, yes, that is what I was looking for. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Does this rotate? It does rotate. Yeah, so we could probably mix a couple of these together if we set the offset right. Although, you'd have to mess with the offset based off of the scale, and I'm not sure if that's going to work that well. We can try it for what I'm trying to do. Yeah. I probably wouldn't forget right now if I was not. I've been really out of it, like really, really out of it. I've been messing up a lot of things that I don't ever mess up. Alright, so we can take a add? Is that what I'm wanting in this scenario? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. This is not centered though. Probably, wait. Why is this not centered? That's not centered. Is this one centered? No. So we need to offset these by like half, right? Wait a minute. This is going to be easier if I only have one of these. Oh, God. What just happened? Okay, that's not what I was looking for. It is this one, right? I just messed that up again. So, no, is this not? This is what I was looking for. Okay. What? 0.1? I need to disable this background. Where is this at in here? Where is that at? And turn off the, because I don't want to see my texture, my HDRI. Is that on the render settings node now? No. It's gotta be on light, right? 0.5 in the place 2D. It's, yeah. Hold on. Help me out here. Am I blind? Am I just blind? I just don't want this to be showing up in the background. Unless this is like a... It shouldn't be... Press D in the viewport and disable the environment light PG. Is that under the lights thing? Background, or is it in the background? Is it under the light? My blind background tab. Oh. Yeah, okay. And then I want this to be dark. There we go. Alright, thank you for that. Like I said, I'm still in a fog. Alright, let's jump back into this. So, let's take this. Well, that's interesting. I want this lined up so it's even on both sides. The offset should be like 0.5 though. I guess how many are we? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many stripes do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4, so it should be 0.25. But that's not right either. Guess we have 8. What's... No, it's working. What's 1 divided by 8? I don't know what that is. 0.125. 0.125. Can't do that math right now. That's not right either. I'd want it to be even. Point 2 is like close, but it's not. It's not even. I suppose we could. Let's set this to, well, because we need this to be a fraction, right? Because we need it to automatically, let's set this to something easier to start off with. All right, so we got 4, so this should be, what, 0.5? No. So, let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to work through this in my brain. So, it's going to be... All right, so we have 4 of these. So we need to divide it by 1 by 4. And then we need to take half of that, right? So it'd be 0.125. Yeah. Okay. So we need to take the UV tiling. We're going to copy that. We're going to paste relative references there. We're going to do 1 divided by that. And then we're going to take all of that and divide that by 2. So now, if we change this to 8, that should be right as well, which it is. And change it to 6, or whatever we change it to. Except for odd numbers. It's kind of right with that. I think that's right. Sure. Let's roll with that. And then we need to do the same thing with this. Except for we need to not rotate it. All right, so now if we wire this into the add, now we've got what I was looking for. I hate that Karma does that. So now we can take I wish this had like a thickness slider. I guess we kind of need to do the same thing for this, right? Am I going to give people that control over that though? No. I'm not. Why doesn't this have... Why doesn't this one have a freaking control over how thick it is? Is this even working the way that I want it to? This is not... Well... Yeah, this is not doing what I want it to do. This is kind of what I'm trying to make right here. Like, that type of a look. So maybe the grid is a better choice for this. Maybe? No. So it's only... What to do? Oh, not the X-cons. That's not what I was looking for. Oh, was that just a checkerboard? So if we set this to... Problem is we can't like shrink this. Is there a way that we can like shrink this down? I'm trying to think. Because we need to create these. If I wanted to create this, we'd have to create this inner square. What other noises do we have? Some ramps that would help us. It sucks, like if we take a look at the circles 2D, like there's so many controls over this. There's so many controls over this. Like look, we can control the overall scale of these, and then we also have like an inner scale, so we can create these kind of like cool shapes. Why do they not give us controls for more controls for some of these? Like why can't I have a freaking square generator? Or like this hexagons we're in, right? Like why can't I have this hexagons with the ability to control the number of sides? Why can't it just be like a shape thing? Right, like this is useful, and like you can do things with this. You could tile this. You have tiled hexagons, right? So you could create cool stuff with this, but like give me the ability to control the number of sizes that like sides that it has. Like even this, like you could create some cool like I don't know, procedural, like just like in shading, do like a shield, like a hexagonal shield thing. But there's just not a lot of control for it. And I know it's a MaterialX thing, because this MaterialX circles 2D, that's a Houdini specific node. You can tell number one because it's got this little icon instead of the MaterialX icon. It's also MaterialX circles 2D, which tells you it's a Houdini specific node. But still, I don't know. I feel like they should have thought about this. If MaterialX is supposed to be like the end-all be-all for texturing, like give me more controls. Let me create cool stuff with this. You know what I would actually like to do? Let's take a little detour real quick. Houdini comes with a catalog of Karma materials. So, like, isn't there like a wood one? Yeah. So let's take a look at this one. How's it going, Andre? Hopefully I said your name right. So we should be able to kind of dissect how these work, right? So we have this kind of a wood material. So now if we drop down a edit material network, we should be able to drag in the wood and load that, and then we should be able to see how it's all made. Oh, so they're using an actual image. Well, that's lame. I figured they probably were. But if you didn't know, that's how you can dive into kind of whatever you want. Curious that they set these up in this manner instead of standard surface preview. I guess that's probably the right way to do it. Alright, well, let's look at a different one. So the woods are going to have a texture. So this carbon fiber one might have something cool. I don't know if it will have a... Whoops. What am I doing there? I don't know if it will have a like a texture, image texture, not. Let's go drag in the carbon fiber here. Let's see. So, yep, it's got an image too. So all these gotta have friggin' images. Well, that's no fun. I was hoping they were making actual procedural materials with some of this stuff. Sorry if you guys hear me pause like that. Coughing. Like I said, I'm still sick. Well, that's significantly less fun, so let's just get rid of that then. I thought that they were going to have some procedural materials and we were going to be able to have some fun looking through how they were created, but they're not really all procedural. All right, let's go back to what we were working with. So I don't know that we're going to be able to create those inner circles. I'm trying to think about how we would do that. And I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that we can. Well, actually, wait a minute. Hold on. So we put them in like this, right? What is this giving us? Can we not do that? Alright, so if I only want like 4, is that going to give it? That's probably going to give us something weird, isn't it? I did some weird tiling there. So if we this should be cutting into. I wish this worked like Redshift as well, where you could just hit this little debug and that would show you what it looks like. Oh, that's because I was setting the pivot like a dum-dum. I wanted this. I need that. Yeah, that's not doing what I was thinking it would do. Right, because that's just creating. Although MaterialX checkerboard. Okay, so that's going off of the wrong one anyways. So maybe that helps, but not that much. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to create those just like inner circles. Like if we do 4x4. We'd have to like do this. And then we'd have to have a second set of these. But even that doesn't work, I don't think. I'm trying to like visualize in my head. It's hard to like explain. I wish I had a debug. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you can. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way you could like. What's it called? Like force it to kind of work that way, or like I don't know, like create a hotkey or something, or a script or something that would like auto wire things up. But that's one of the things I really liked about Redshift was just being able to click on the debug and it would show you what that node is doing. I think that side effects should take a note out of their book and implement that. Let's see. So this is what we have on each one of these. So if I wanted to double this, let's just take this. Let's go to 8 by 8. uses the unlit shader. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the script. But to me, like, should just be something that the side effects implements as like a default thing. Let's see. I suppose if you wanted to do like this type of a thing, and that crosshatch is like dang near it, right? You just well, you could kind of do that. I don't know, you can create some like cool stuff with this. Like some interesting shapes. That's actually like kind of close. I don't know, and then you have to like do tiling here. What does this do? It's kind of like a fence type thing, like a chain link fence. I don't know, I haven't really messed around with this. This is one of the things I wanted to mess around with. But I just haven't had the time. Because I thought that you could make some cool stuff in Karma procedurally with the MaterialX stuff, but I knew it was going to be kind of limited just because their noises and stuff aren't that great. Maybe you can do something with the line. Might be able to do something. Using your videos to help me figure out some issues I was having earlier. Thanks for all the help. Yeah, no problem, man. What are you working on? I'm always interested to see what people are doing or creating. This is just kind of weird. Like, it's like why? And then like, how does this even? Oh, this is weird. Very, very odd. Like, I don't know. Can you make these tile? Is there like a tile thing? That's another thing that really bothers me about Karma and MaterialX. So right, you have triplanar. So you have the triplanar projection. And unfortunately, like with Redshift or V-Ray or Octane, any of the other major renders, if you have a triplanar node, you can, or at least with Redshift, I guess. I haven't really messed with triplanar and V-Ray or Octane much. Or I have with V-Ray, but just not in a while. But with Redshift, right, your input for the triplanar projection is not a file. Like, it can be a file, but it's not a file. It's a, you can plug in like kind of whatever you want, I think. Like, I could plug in noises into this, so I can't. That's one of the things that bothers me is you could set up a nice procedural like material, and then you can't make it a triplanar projection in Karma, which kind of sucks. Try a text chord and multiply it with the tiling amount before the MaterialX line. I'll give it a shot. Doesn't look like... Oh, wait. Wait a minute. I mean, it's doing something. Well, it was a nice thought, but I don't think that's gonna work. Isn't there... What did the place have in it? How about the texture set? Can I plug whatever I want into this? No, you can't. Of course you can't. Give you all these nice nodes, but you can't do some things that you want to with them. Ooh, wait. Base color default, though. Well, no, because that doesn't have like a tiling mode either. Wait. Hold on a minute here. Wait a second. Can I plug this in to our base color and have that be triplanar? Hold on a minute. We might have just solved some issues. Partially. Come on, Houdini. I'm like frozen here. I don't know why it's not working. Let's set this to a polygon and crank that up. And we're probably going to need to restart this. Well, I think that would say that it's working. Maybe? Can you not control? So they give you a triplanar. That is hilarious. They give you a triplanar in this node, but they don't give you the ability to control like how much. Am I wrong, or is this just not? Is this working? Those nodes are unpredictable. Oh, I missed a few messages here. Simulation work for VFX Studio. Can't say any more than that. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Unfortunately I don't get to stream as much as I would like. I would love to stream more, but yeah, I got family and stuff, and it's hard to balance everything with, you know, spending time with my family and also making videos and then also streaming and everything. So I spend more time working on making videos and researching how to do different things, or like, you know, my own R&D, I guess I should say, to make videos. Can we dive in this node? No, we can't. Well, that's kind of dumb. They give us the ability to triplanar this, but then they don't give us like controls for it. So we can only kind of triplanar. Although I'm not sure that that's working either. Not sure how well this is working. At least this blend. Maybe it only works for the textures. I don't know. I never messed with it. Hello. So Crispy Media, if you want to check this out. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, that's kind of a shame. I was hoping I didn't see that had a triplanar mode before, so that makes it less fun. But again, that triplanar is not very useful if you don't have the ability to. I suppose maybe if you have like a multiply in there, Like if you mess around with the multiplies and stuff, you can probably get it to work differently. Actually, you know what? Let's just try that. Now I think about it. It's been a long time since I've really played around with Karma a lot. As far as, yeah. I use it like here and there, but as far as like using it like this, I should say. But then we need our, what, texture coordinates. Let's move those out of the way. So texture chords, and then is it a multiply that goes in here too? Let's just do this. Yeah, so that's not working. Because with noises, right? You have a noise, and that's how this worked. Like a Voronoi noise. That's not. I did a video on this a long time ago. Unified noise 3D. Is that right? No. Like a fractal 3D. Well, I guess it was in the position, wasn't it? Yeah, see, there's no like triplanar amount. Or like a scale, I mean. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Video Copilot. Oh my god. That is a name that I have not heard in a long time. Video Copilot. Andrew Kramer here from videocopilot.net. That's fun fact for you all. This is something I have never shared with YouTube, but or my current audience, I should say. But a long time ago, when I first started making YouTube videos, even before I had this channel, I started with video editing. That's kind of what kicked off what got me into 3D, I should say. And Video Copilot is one of the big channels that I watched a lot of, and used that to learn how to edit some stuff. Did all my editing in After Effects for a long time before I switched to DaVinci Resolve a couple years ago. Still love After Effects, but I hate how slow it renders. And that's honestly the only reason I switched to DaVinci Resolve. So this is not what I was thinking. I have to refer back to one of my videos. I don't remember. I made a video on how to like scale noises and stuff, but I don't remember. It's been so long since I've done this. Let me find it. I don't remember. I don't remember how it all works. Let's see. What did we have to do? Oh, it was a MaterialX position. That's right. I was gonna say that was where I was heading. I have coworkers that have mentioned that all. Unfortunately, I grew up in the age of being guided by the donut and tutorial instead. Andrew Price versus Andrew Kramer. Yeah. Andrew Kramer, man. That guy was too smart. Too smart for his own good. His videos are always top quality too. Top quality video co-pilot. They had their Element 3D for After Effects. That was game changing. Yeah, he was funny too. Element 3D was game changing. He was working on some cool stuff too. Or he's like, I guess, still is. I guess I don't know where he's at with it. He was working on something he was calling Nebula. It was like volumetrics rendered inside of After Effects, which looked super cool. The little previews that he gave, and I was excited to see that, even though I don't use After Effects that much anymore. You're like it all, Adobe. Everyone loves Adobe. Okay, so if we plug this into here, so we've got, screw the texture coordinates. Let's plug this into the position. No, it's not gonna do it either. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it never came out. I know. I think he had a couple things that he was like working on. Every once in a while I go back and I'm like, has Andrew Kramer uploaded in a while? And then I get disappointed. I'll still watch the videos just because, number one, they're kind of enjoyable. Just because he is a funny guy. And it's just cool to see like people's thought processes when they're making stuff. That's one of the things I enjoy, is just seeing how people think. And he's so smart. Super smart guy. And the way he approached things was just crazy. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for how we can create these like inner squares. I thought maybe we would be able to create like lines and offset them, but seems like that's not gonna work out. You started doing tutorials because of him too? Do you still make videos? Oh, don't let me click on you. I was gonna try to go to your channel, but it's done. Let me. Do you still make videos, and on what if you do? I wouldn't want to say I started editing because of him, because I didn't. But I kind of learned how to think our way through. Oh, CG side. Okay, yeah, I know you. Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, I've seen your stuff somewhat. Have you figured out how the room map works at all? Do you know how the room map, like I know how to like set up the room maps as far as like in the windows, but generating your own inside of freaking Houdini, like I can't for the life of me figure out how that works. How the heck do you bake out a freaking room map? Like I was tempted to submit a ticket to their support and be like, can you guys tell me how this works? Because I can't for the life of me figure this out. Like their documentation is terrible for how to set up the room maps. It's the only complaint I have as far as their documentation goes, but it's just they don't tell you how to do it. I went through like all the nodes and it was just like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't know if you have to like bake it out through cops or what, but no idea. If anybody knows how to do that, feel free to enlighten me, because I've never felt so stupid. Alright, I'm going to move all these back out of the way. What do I got here? I'm going to delete all this other stuff. Let me just start over here. You somehow succeeded. Uses a lens shader. For baking it? I started to go down that rabbit hole and then I felt like that was not right. So I abandoned it. I feel like they need to come out with like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I feel like they need to come out with like a, hey, this is how you do this, because they haven't done anything. Even on like, if you go on the website and then you look at the like files or whatever that they give you, like the users have submitted during like the beta or whatever, there's nothing even in it for that. So I'm like, I don't think anybody could figure it out. You render the image and save it. Okay. Sure. That seems really, I don't know. I've not, I don't know. I looked into it for like hours and tried to rack my brain, and I just could not come up with anything. I'm gonna lay out a bunch of these procedurals. We're just gonna look at them all. I didn't really come in with a plan of like what to make too much. I wanted to try to create like a floor tile thing. That was my initial idea anyways. Yeah, sure, man. I appreciate it. Like, I don't know. Even then, I'm not sure it's gonna make much sense. Like I said, I feel like they should just come out with like a file, an example file that shows everyone how to do it, because it just doesn't make sense to me. These are the noises. Pretty new to using Houdini professionally. Do you have anything that you wish you knew and starting out to help with the learning curve? I mean, how new are you to Houdini? My recommendation is always the same to everyone using Houdini or starting out with Houdini. I always say that you should learn attributes, get very comfortable with them, as far as not just how to, create them or what they are, but how to create them, how to manipulate them, and how to really reuse them, because they're everything inside Houdini. Literally everything is an attribute or used as an attribute. You can use them in shading, you can use them for procedural modeling, you can use them in simulations, whether pretty much every node inside Houdini either creates an attribute or uses an attribute. So that's my recommendation. Aside from that, I don't know. It kind of depends on what you're trying to go for. I don't recommend to start out with simulations. Simulations are a little bit more complex. Like I said, they deal a lot with the with attributes. So it's good to have an understanding of a lot of different things before you go into those. How's it going? Home Depot houseplants. Thanks for your videos, and no problem. I try to share what I learn. Does this cell noise take a texture coordinate for it to actually do stuff? No. Okay, well that's letting me take a position, right? What did I? Yeah. Weird. All right. So this checkerboard would be nice if we could find a way to create those inner circles. How? I just don't know how we go about doing that. I'm a freelance VFX artist. No, I just kind of, make my own stuff. I don't do it as a job. I share my stuff online, and I have a Patreon, just to, kind of recoup some of the costs that it takes to make videos and to share what I learn. But I do it just as a hobby. I would like to do some things in the future, but I always said that I didn't want to make other people's like visions for things. I wanted to make my own things, so I didn't want to work for anybody and make someone else's like vision. It's good to hear. I was struggling with attributes in simulations, so I'm glad to hear it's not just me. I think we need to hang up though. Yeah, attributes and simulations, they're used for everything in simulations. It creates a ton of attributes, especially depending on the simulation that you're doing. And then you have to really know how to kind of manipulate them to work, like velocity fields and stuff. Velocity attributes, the stopped attributes, super important for simulations. You can do a lot of interesting things with just a couple things, but I don't know. I didn't jump into simulations right away. Did I? No. First thing, what was the first thing I tried? I think the first thing I tried to make in Houdini was it was either a cloud. I don't think it was a cloud. I think it was like a rock generator, like a rock or a cliff generator, and it didn't turn out terrible, but it didn't turn out great either. And yeah, sorry, we're just kind of fumbling through some stuff. I'm just kind of looking at procedural shading, trying to wrap my brain around it, but I'm kind of still recovering from being sick, so my brain's not working at full capacity right now. So I'm kind of at a loss. That makes sense. Good for you. Thanks for sharing. Your videos have been super helpful. Yeah. I always, like, I don't know, when I started learning, I started off with Blender back like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. And Blender was not what it is now. Not even close. And so there wasn't the learning material online that there is now for anything, for any software. And so I always said, to me, it makes sense, like, to the people to kind of like make the best stuff possible. You shouldn't have, like, not just like for a person, but for society as a whole. You shouldn't have things like paywalled super heavily. Like, it's okay to make some money off of some things. Like, obviously that's how the world kind of works, right? Money kind of rules everything, but like, school is just so expensive, and I just think you don't gain a lot from it, and not in every like field. You can learn like through with the arts, like, right? You can learn so much just online now. I don't think school is as necessary as it used to be. But there's still like places that charge like a lot of money for things, and to me it's just like, you know, it's okay to make money, but at the same time you want to make cool stuff. Sorry, my throat's bothering me. Like, the only way that people get better is by like sharing their knowledge and learning from other people. So I think it's important to share that and let people, you know, push the industry forward. Whew. Sorry, I'm having a real hard time right now talking. My throat's really cutting out. Went to school for VFX and could have learned it all online. Almost everything I do at work now is stuff I learned on my own online. Yeah, I think that's like a realization that a lot of people are having. Like when I went to school, you know, I only went to a community college. I went to a community college for a semester. I had a scholarship there, and the reason I only went for a semester was because I went there and I talked to the professors and stuff, and I looked at what the curriculum was, and I had already done like everything on my own that I would have done in the class or in the 2 years that the program was. So I left. Man, I'm really struggled to talk. I'm not like crying or anything, I promise. My throat's just cutting out. That's why you probably hear me muting here frequently. You send me the file. All right. Thank you. I will take a look at that for sure. I am dying over here. I really am. I keep muting because I'm trying to like, I don't know. There's something like in my, like a tickle in my throat or something that's like really killing me. Can't get it to go away. Throat simulation crashing. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what's going on. You just like, you don't realize it too. Like, I watch streamers just as much as, you know, anybody else, and like people streaming, and you really don't realize it. It's different when you make videos too than it is versus streaming. But your throat, like it, you gotta stay hydrated, man. Your throat really will cut out quite a bit. It really it really irritates your throat. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Is this what I'm looking for? Oh, dude, this is totally what I'm looking for. Yeah. Right, now I can create the inner circles. This is what I needed all along. Knew we'd get there eventually. Streaming is not as easy as everyone like thinks it is. I assure you. There's been a virus or something going around. Oh yeah, have a good night, man. No problem. Make sure if you haven't already, join the Discord, and share your creations, and feel free to ask questions. Oh my god. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at this. All right, let's go back. Although we would need to offset these two. Yep, have a good night, man. All right, so let me just... I'm going to paste references here. And although this is not necessarily what I'm looking for either. I guess I don't need this now, right? Because I just wanna have a checkerboard effect, right? Here, let me just do this. Oops. Yeah, alright. So this is what 8x8 tiling. So let's do 8x8 on this. Huh. The problem with this is I need these to, right, where these squares are white, I need these squares to be black, the inner squares, which isn't a problem because they're already black. Well, that kind of worked. That's interesting. But then where these squares are black, I need them to be white. So we need like a mix, or like what are we trying to do here? Is there an invert? Can I invert this? Okay, stop doing that. Okay, well that worked. Can I do this? Wait a minute. Did that work? So, hold on, let me look at this. If I invert these, I think this works. You gonna try to subtract the shapes? Yeah. This is kind of what the effect I'm going for. So these inner squares. That's what I'm trying to get to. And I think we just got to it, to be honest with you. So if I just take another one of these, and then I reset these, and now I take a Add? Is that what I want? Nope. That is not what I want. So, white on these. Maybe I need to invert those. I don't think that's going to do it though. Right? What is this? What is this giving me? All right. So I just have that. Mix. Okay, so we want this, right? Well, the mix gonna work because you can only do so many of these. You can't like, oh wait, no, that's with shaders. So foreground and then, nope, not what I was looking for. Burn, MaterialX burn. Burn. I think I want that in the foreground. Nope. I think I want that in the background and this in the foreground. What does the burn do? Yeah. Yeah. But now I need a second one of these. All right. And I need this be in there. And this, nope, not that. This to be in here. Well, that didn't work. What is, let's see. This is so annoying without like a like debug. That's one of the worst things about Karma. Okay, so because I just want to look at my freaking texture. Okay, so I need the black on here. I feel like put my finger on the screen to make it work. So I need this to be white. So what? I'm getting that with this. What is the burn? The burn's like, it's like subtracting though. The burn's like subtracting. Oh, that's kind of not what I want. This isn't going to give me what I want, but okay. Where's the burn? Where does that burn mode come from? Like, what submenu is that in? Earn. There it is. Matte. Huh. That's a vector 4 though. That's interesting. Darkens the foreground input using the background input. Darkens the foreground input? So Well, sure. I don't quite... That doesn't quite make sense to me. Because I would think that if it darkens the foreground input using the background, right? So anywhere that it's white, it should darken, right? I don't, but that's not what it's doing. I don't know. What is the difference? Is the difference going to give me what I'm looking for? I just like inverted it. These nodes. I don't know. Oops. These nodes are not doing what I expect them to do. I don't know what this node is. Mask the in input by multiply the in values with a mask globe. What? That doesn't make sense to me. Not right now, anyways. Not in my Lord state of mind currently. Pre-molt. Unpre-molt. Wonder if those are in relation to, or like work like what is the software called? I'm drawing a blank. Not Feud, Nuke. That's the word I was looking for. Disjoint over. What the heck is that? MaterialX out? What? What is that? Take two color for... What? Okay, well this gives you a list of... Oh. 1 minus B. This is... MaterialX is like French, man. It sometimes it's like it's another language. It's very like not user friendly. It's very what's the word? Like programmer speak. Like, the average Joe is not going to be able to tell you what a lot of things in MaterialX mean. And I think that's a big reason why it's not used by, like, literally everybody. Plus, it's missing some things that it really needs. But, anyways, screen might work. Screen very well might work for what I'm going for, and I might need to just honestly go to some black and white stuff. It's very simple to see what this stuff is doing. It's not what I was hoping for. This is backwards of what I want anyways, right? What do we have here? I want to add, I need to do like this anyways. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. There. I knew screen was going to be it. So now we essentially have this. It took us a while, but we got there. Can you make these? I'm going to get rid of this, actually. Keep that texture chords. Will these rotate in tandem, like together? Text chords, text chords. I don't know why I thought 90 was the correct thing that I wanted there. They do. Okay. Well, sweet. Hey, we basically got what we wanted. So now we can just color these if we wanted to, and then we would have some like some tiles. We could displace these a little bit if we really wanted to. Let's see. So the ramps work a little differently in this too. Like, watch. I don't know. I guess maybe it's not going to do it in this scenario. I don't know. Whatever. Let's do like a dark. I don't know. Dark orange. I don't know. However, that's essentially all you need to do to get to that type of a tile. So that's kind of cool. Can you add a blur in MaterialX? I don't think there are any blurs. Is there a blur? There is a blur. Hey, that answers your question, right? Blur. Size. Doesn't blur. Well, actually, I feel like I saw something about the blur just doesn't work in MaterialX. I feel like that is true based off what we just saw. Maybe it's a CPU only thing? Maybe? Oh. Well. Apparently CPU doesn't apparently CPU doesn't like that. Is it the ramp constant? Is that what it is? Oh god, that really breaks it all, doesn't it? What the heck? Well, that's interesting. So, XPU works fine. CPU has a stroke. Is it the place? Why is this not? This has got to be a bug, right? Does that work? Why are they different? Yeah, why is this? This should not be any different. That's interesting. This is very interesting. This just like totally doesn't work. Where does it break? So that works. That works. But that gives you something weird. But it worked. This is very odd. It's like the calculations are different for CPU and XPU. Huh. Because I know that, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, the values, I don't know if this is the way, like Redshift, right? You can go beyond in Redshift, like 0 to 1 values. You can, I'm assuming, do that probably in Karma then too. But it looks like the calculations are different in XPU versus CPU based off of what's happening. Or maybe it's a bug. XPU does use both CPU and GPU, so you can see all of your devices here. So we've got two optics. Optics is going to be your GPUs, and then the Embry CPU is going to be your CPU. So I've got two GPUs in my system and my CPU, which is kind of stupid that, in my opinion, that out of the box, Houdini doesn't give you, or side effects doesn't give you the ability to disable devices at will. If you would like to, I have a XPU device controller that's available on Patreon as well. You can turn off devices like that, or you can go into the dock. That's just an easy way to do it. Or you can go into the docks, and they show you how to. They tell you how to do it too. What system do I have? It's a like my own custom system, custom built thing. I have a 5965 WX Threadripper. I've got a 3090 and an A4000 with 128 gigs of RAM. What? Okay. What else? I wanted to use this crosshatch. There's another like tile pattern type. This little like cross section I thought would be kind of interesting to do, and I think the crosshatch is like probably the easiest to do. Yeah, it's very nice. I had a 3950X in my old system, and I thought that it would be, a bigger jump from, like, obviously you're adding cores, right? So added 8 cores, 16 threads or whatever. And I thought that was going to be a bigger jump in processing time. It's not something, it probably is. It's not something like super noticeable, but Houdini handles things a little bit differently, right? So it's cooking nodes. It's not always necessarily on like core count, especially even with simulations, right? It's not always just based off your core count. Your processor, like single core speed, actually matters quite a bit with some of that too, which I didn't necessarily realize when I first was building the system. Is grid what I'm looking for here? Or not grid, but crosshatch. But don't get me wrong, I would not trade the system back. I wouldn't go back. I I love the system that I had. Very, very nice. Having multiple GPUs, especially for what I do. It's nice to have 2 GPUs to be able to work on. Is unfortunately, which is kind of weird, because I like back in the day, I had one of the first computers I had a an i7 4790K, and I was able to put 2 GPUs into that system. It had 28 PCIe lanes, and then at some point in time, we all reverted back to 24 PCIe lanes instead of 28 PCIe lanes. And I thought that was the dumbest thing in the world, because if you're paying, like, I understand, like, okay, you want to keep your Threadrippers and those Xeons or whatever, you want to keep those for professionals, right? You want to squeeze out as much money as you can. But to me, you're spending extra money for a prosumer chip in a 3950 or a 7950X or whatever, like the current thing, right? So I feel like for the prosumer, the one prosumer chip that they have, that they could add some extra PCIe lanes, not make it a ton, but add in enough that you could stick 2 GPUs in the system and have it run, because you're paying that extra amount. And then there's still a reason to upgrade to the Threadrippers, because then you get the extra PCIe lanes, because at 28 PCIe lanes, right, you have no room for anything else. You get 2 GPUs, you don't get any M.2 drives or anything like that. You just get your GPUs. But I don't know, that's just my 2 cents. 7950X can be paired with 192 gigabytes of RAM, which is wild. Yeah, I don't know. To me, over 128 gigs of RAM is not super necessary for most people. Obviously, with what we're doing, if you're doing a lot of heavy simulations, then yes. But like 128 gigs is enough for what I do, no problem. And I don't have a need to go up to more than that with what I currently do. But that being said, I don't really mess around with Flip all that much, and I feel like when that time comes, when I do decide to jump into Flip simulations, that's probably going to change my mind. And Pyro, I don't do a ton with Pyro either, but once I decide to do more with those, that my mind might change. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. Create this. So you need the tile. I wonder, actually. Let me go back to the checkerboards for this. Again, I wish I could just freaking press the debug and see what's going on. Because we would need to, in order to create something like this. Trying to, like I said, work through it in my mind. So if we set this to like 1, and then where's that place? Text chords, and then if we rotate this, nope, that don't work because there's a seam. Well, there goes that idea. Yeah, Haswell. I don't keep up on the names of the generations of stuff anymore. Although, you know, nothing beats going from the 900 series graphics cards for Nvidia to the 1000 series. That was a massive jump. I remember those. Yeah, I don't know. I need to really play around with this more and not in a time where my brain's just not functioning. Not functioning like it should, at least. And really, I need to kind of plan out like some things that I want to make. And it's also getting late here, so yeah. Random color. What does this random color do? Probably creates a random color, huh? Input. Oh, that's interesting. What happens if you ooh. Ah, okay. So you could create like here, like if we did if we took a noise, this is kind of interesting. Let's take this noise, plug this into the color. Honestly, we just leave it like this. Multiply. That's not. Let's try. Let's do that a little bit differently. So we take that. Maybe I want to like clamp this. Diminish. I don't know what that does. Or like no. Like a cell. That's kind of what I was looking. Actually, that's kind of more what I was looking for, as far as like what I was thinking of a good way to show this. So we plug that in the end. Yeah, you can do something cool with that. Really, just this is all you need. So whatever the value of that input is, it generates a random color. It's kind of cool, and then you can control like the hue of it, so you can keep it in like a certain like range. It's actually really cool. You could create some like procedural. Sorry about that. Throat cut out again. Like some like military camos. You could do like that. Could create like digital cam. It's not what I was looking to do. Color corrector. And then you could just crank the hue on this. No? Does that not work? Oh yeah, it is. It'll just take a second. So you could use that to control the hue. I think that works a little bit better. Maybe. And get some nice like digital cam type things. It's kind of an interesting thing. Yeah, Israeli army. Like some of the stuff that you see in like the Call of Duties or whatever. Yeah, like the Call of Duties. What else we got in MaterialX? A lot of stuff that I haven't really messed around with. tiled clover leaves. I wish you could layer more stuff in MaterialX. Have this MaterialX layer that isn't like a layer node that you'd find in Redshift or something like that, unfortunately. And the MaterialX mix, that's one of the things that sucks. They did add the ability to mix the shaders now in Houdini 20, but you cannot daisy chain them. So you can only mix two things. So that kind of sucks. I wish that they didn't limit it to that, but I'm sure that'll come at some point. Let's see. Ambient occlusion. Well, that's funny. They have they have this Houdini section, but which is supposed to be like Houdini specific MaterialX nodes, but yet they keep the circles, or like some of these, like these procedurals, they keep that in here. It's kind of funny. Kind of odd that they just do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with this more. I was hoping, like, we looked at it earlier, but this catalog of materials, I was hoping that they would have more stuff that's, you know, procedural in here. Like, I thought some of this stuff would be more like procedural. Like, I knew that the, I don't know, like the wood, I figured that the wood wasn't, but I was interested in earlier when we looked at it to see how it was made. But they use image textures. But they have, like, I think they have brick textures in here too, right? No, they don't have brick textures. I must be thinking about the AMD MaterialX catalog thing. You could make your own kind of a brick texture with MaterialX, because was it the grid? It was the grid, right? This is a grid that we decided we could use that for. For this. So we set this to like 10, this to like 5. Was it not the grid? This is the grid. No. Was it the grid? Oops. What was I using earlier? Was it the grid? It had to have been the grid, right? No, it couldn't have been the grid. How did we have the offset? Oh, staggered. Duh. Wow. Blind. Yeah. Yeah, so you can just create your own, like, brick that way. And then you would want to invert that, and then you could break it up with some noises and stuff and get some interesting stuff. Unfortunately, too, the noises, like, they've got the unified noise, and, like, you got Perlin and Cell, but, like, they're not that good. There's just not very many. I wish they had more. Like, I don't know. I guess this, you know, they're all right. They're like the very basic stuff. And I was expecting them when they added more into Houdini 20. So they added in like the circles, I think. Yeah, circles. I was expecting them to add more, or I was hoping that they would add more. Circles 2D, and they've got hexagons, but like, and like cloverleafs. Like, what is this? To me, what is this good for? I don't know. What do you use this for? Who's using this in a material? And the controls for all these things are like, I guess they're all right. I guess you can create. That's kind of a cool shape. I retract my statement. That's kind of a cool shape. You can do some cool stuff with this, I'm sure. But like the hexagons, I feel like the tiled hexagons, just give us a side, like a sidedness. Make it a tiled shape and just give us the ability to control the sidedness of said shape. And then this becomes exponentially more useful. I don't know. Surely it can't be that hard. Maybe it is. Which renders do you like for Houdini? I have used quite a few, I guess. I never really messed with Mantra. It was just out of the question for me because it was too slow. It was CPU based, and I saw how slow it was just immediately. I used Redshift. I used Redshift when I worked in Cinema 4D. And then I came over to Houdini, and Redshift is there for everything. So I used it for Houdini as well. Redshift works very, very well inside Houdini. I love Redshift, but I also felt like Karma was more than capable for what I needed. So I dropped my license this year. At 19.5, I don't think it was enough, but in Houdini 20, I think it's enough. So I think Redshift's very good. Karma's very good. And then I've also used Octane. I have a license of Octane. You can see it installed. But it is what it is. It crashes a lot, or at least it did. Now, that was because I was told because of the IPR that I was using. And I don't know if that is actually the case. The old IPR, like the, I don't know, OpenSeal or whatever, they have a new IPR. If you enable the new IPR, I think it's more stable. But I don't know. I just haven't used it much just because Karma has been good. But I do like the way the Octane looks. So I think Octane is probably a decent choice as long as you switch the IPR from the default one. And then I've also used V-Ray, and V-Ray is pretty solid. V-Ray's got a lot of nice things for like an all-in-one kind of thing. And some of the other renders, like if you don't feel like compositing some of your stuff, then that's V-Ray's nice because you can kind of do some compositing without having to be in a compositing software. But honestly, renders don't matter that much. It's all about how you use them. I think I am gonna call it here though. Let's just go over these the new stuff, one more time though, just for anybody that wasn't around at the beginning. Arnold. Oh, I did use Arnold. I tested Arnold out inside Houdini, and I was extremely disappointed with the. First of all, I know Arnold is it's mainly like it's known for its CPU render, right? But they implemented a GPU render, and there's like no settings for it. Like it's literally just a. You could just, if you have noise, you just crank up the noise threshold some more. Like, that's not okay. I need to be, I guess, I don't know. I guess Karma's kind of the same way, but you can set per object like rendering now in Houdini 20. I don't know. And Karma cleans up things. I don't know. I don't know. I ran into some issues with Arnold that really threw me off. Some things like I just couldn't get something to clean up. Like whatever I rendered, I've got somewhere online. I don't even know. I think it's on ArtStation. I remade a like container thing from the Mandalorian, where they've like Grogu's got they're transporting the eggs of these like frog people, whatever you want to call them, and Grogu like eats the eggs, or fish people, whatever they are, and I remade that container with the eggs in them, and I did that in Arnold. And I had artifacts with the rendering. It was like fireflies almost, that no matter what, I could not get to go away. Like I could crank up the noise threshold or whatever it is called in Arnold and just have that render for 6 years straight, and that just would not go away. But I could have done it with the CPU, I guess. But I didn't want to sit there and be rendering for hours on end, because it was the type of render that it was. It would have took forever. So that's my gripe on Arnold. I need some more controls. But anyways, so got a shelf for my tools inside Houdini, which I will be adding to in the future. I've got an import script that you can import objects. It's got a thumbnail viewer, so you select your folder where you have all your files stored. It's available on Patreon. It's $10 for all this stuff. You get all my project files and stuff too. But all of these nice super shape stuff comes with it. You get like 20 something of these models. They have UVs. You can import these. You can import in the stage context or into the geometry context, either one. And like I said, all these models you get, as well as the scripts themselves and all my project files. You can create your own thumbnails. You can use this for whatever you want. You don't have to. You can use it for like kitbash or whatever. So it's not exclusive to just what I've made. And you can make your own stuff and bring them all into Houdini. And I have the color picker here, so I've got it set up to be a hotkey of C. So any node that I have selected here, I can change the color of. You can do this normally inside Houdini with this little color picker here, but you're limited to some different choices here. If you want to change them, you have to right click and you can edit color and do whatever you want there. This just makes it a little bit quicker and easier. And last thing is the duplicate node. So whatever node you have selected, you can duplicate a few times, or however many you want. So we got a couple duplicates there. Okay. Are the super shapes procedural? Yes, super shapes, but yes, asterisks. Okay, the super shapes they're exported models that I've created. The generator itself is a procedural generator. Yes, it's created all in Vex. Did I do it in Vex or did I do it in Python? I think I did it in Vex. I did it in Vex. It's the generator itself is not included. It's because it doesn't work perfectly. It doesn't work the way that it's supposed to, and I know that it doesn't work the way that it should, I should say. And so I don't feel comfortable releasing something that doesn't work the way that it should. But it does work to generate some models. It just doesn't, the shapes that it should make with the values that you give it aren't necessarily correct. And so because of that, I don't think I should release it. But I found some shapes that are cool and that I was able to get that looking nice. So I exported those out, and those are part of this. So you can download them if you want to look at them all. Let's just one more time scroll through. So we got a bunch of them here. Mostly abstract stuff. Some of them are more complex than others. The polygon counts, range. I really like a couple of these. Like this one's super cool. Got high res and low res models, and they work well for simulations and stuff. RBD simulations. I can show you the demo scene that I made, which you guys will see here in a little bit. Just the render. Let's see. Let's jump over to this little tree and simulate this out. There we go. So they work well. This is an RBD simulation. So I got, I don't think I have any of the high poly ones, but I've got low poly, the low poly ones imported in here that we are emitting into the RBD simulation. So you can use these for RBD simulations. Some of them you can probably use for like vellum stuff as well, which I wanted to play around with. I just haven't done yet. Some of them obviously probably aren't going to work all that well. Well, for that, like this one probably was not going to work too well with vellum, just because of the complexity of the shape. Like this one, the star looking like one, might do all right. This big fat weird one right here, kind of probably do all right. This one would probably do all right. But some of the more complex ones like this one and the other one that I showed you, probably not going to work too well with vellum. So just have to know your situation, I guess. But the RBDs work pretty well. So you can use them in that. Low poly models are anywhere from like 20 to like 40,000 polys, I believe. And then the high poly models are 200,000 plus, I'd say. And you get like 20 of them. So if you want to grab them, they are available on Patreon. You can jump over to my Patreon. So over here, and then you can, grab them on there. Yeah. That is the link. So you can grab them on there, and then that includes, like I said, the shelf tool here, or the shelf. It is packaged as a package, so you can install it into your packages folder. I've got instructions on how to do that, and you can go and just install that super easily. You have to change one little thing, and then that way all of the icons load up here as well, little custom icons, and you're all good there. And actually, that's something that I'll probably cover in the future as well, is some of the stuff that I've learned from that, like how to create, if you want to create your own stuff and package it up as a package. I'll probably show how to do that, because that's not something that's really like out there, and I think it's useful to know. And if you want to make this color picker, this normal hotkey for this thing is C. I have it bound to be my custom tool, so you can right click and edit the tool, and then come to this hotkey section, come to the network pane, and then press this edit and set your hotkey there. Yeah, so that is everything that's new. thank you guys for hanging out. Yeah. Sorry about that. Forgot to mute. But I will be probably posting some more stuff here in the future. I'll try to get back onto the more normal uploads once I get my, get over my sickness and get my mind back functioning the way that it should. But yeah, that is, I was excited. I've been working on this stuff for quite some time, and especially these shapes, trying to get that super shape generator to work. I really wanted to release that, but unfortunately I can't get that figured out. As far as to get it to generate things correctly, so I'll hold off on that maybe one day. But anyways, yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and I look forward to releasing more stuff here in the future. But anyways, you guys have a good night, and I will see you in the next, videos and whatever. Have a good night.